how you feel is about your relationship to who you are and what you want. That's easy enough, isn't it? Are you supposed to know in any moment in time everything that you want? No. Are you supposed to know in any moment in time everything that you will ever want? Of course not. Then what? Then what's a moment in time about? Every moment in time is about you finding something that interests you and finding a way of moving in the direction of it. Every moment in time is about you finding something that you can focus upon as best you can with the full-blown vantage point of the source within you. The more you are aligned with source, the more of a cooperative component you are to source, then the richer every facet of every moment in time will be for you. When we say to you, you're not ever going to get it done, that's sort of kind of what we're talking about. And when we say you can't get it wrong, that is also what we're talking about. If you make a decision that you want something, and you make it from a place of feeling lonely or bored, and then because of processes, or because you slept well, or because of meditation, or because you focused upon something that caused you to feel better, at another point in time when you're high-flying, as our friend said, on a high-flying disc or a high-flying plane, and you focus back on that thing that you thought you wanted, and you realize from this higher, more refined, less resistant state of being that that doesn't feel like a good idea, then you're asking a question like this: why did it feel like it was a good idea before and now it doesn't feel like it's a good idea? And we say everything has to do with where you're standing in any moment in time. So can you see that the only question that you ever need to ask, it'll simplify everything. The only question that you ever need to ask is, how do I feel here and now in relationship to my source energy? If you're confused, take a nap. If you're angry, take a nap. If you're mad at someone, take a nap. If you feel unworthy, take a nap. You see where this is going. In other words, don't try to figure anything out from those lower vibrations. Then Abraham, why are you asking us to move up the emotional scale? Why are you asking us to recognize where we feel and then feel up a little bit and feel up a little bit and feel up a little bit? We want you to do that exercise because we want you to know from your own personal experience, because words don't teach, that you have the ability to feel something better than what you are currently feeling. In other words, move up the emotional scale when you get good at it. If you're not good at it, take a nap. It is our desire that you stop second guessing yourself. Stop writhing in the University of Abraham, where you're not that good at math, maybe not that good at moving up the emotional scale, maybe not that good even at identifying what you're feeling. It doesn't matter if you put a word to it. It doesn't matter if you put a word to it. Sometimes when you put a word to it, it activates other things around that so that you feel it more clearly, so that you're more sure that you feel that. It is our desire to help you simplify the deliberate creator and the deliberate creating that you have come to be, not to complicate it. If we could zap you with the worthy stick, we'd be tempted to try it. However, we would not want to deprive you of your self-discovery of it. Because once you discover it, once you remember it, once you calibrate to it, along with that comes a trusting, comes a point of attraction that lets good things in. So Abraham, what are you saying? You say, feel worthy, and then things that emphasize or prove worthiness will come. We do say that. But Abraham, shouldn't that worthiness just come to me to show me that I am worthy? And we say, in a universe based upon attraction, it cannot be. In a universe where you are the creator of your own reality, you want to know what you're doing. The reason that we're speaking in this emphatic way, with so many questions piled up here for us to peruse, is that there are still so many people who don't get it. They don't get this point of attraction thing. And they don't get the emotion being the indicator of what you're attracting. And when you get that, when you're able to know where you are on the emotional scale so you're not surprised about what piles on, that's a good thing. When you can feel where you are so you're not surprised about what comes, and you're also not surprised about what doesn't come, that's a good thing. Because along with that knowledge comes an understanding of the law of attraction. And once you've got that, coupled with your awareness of the way you feel, and the better you feel, the better it is, then you can navigate in this world never feeling afraid, never being afraid of your emotions, never trying to figure out which came first. In other words, you're not here being tested. You're here to create. You're here to calibrate. You're here to figure it out. Let's say that you're calibrating physically through physical manifestations rather than vibrationally. Because the vortex is a sort of unknown thing. We get that. So you're calibrating physically. So let's say that you eat something and it didn't smell good. You felt an aversion to it, but you ate it anyway. And then you got sick. Do you think you would associate that behavior with that sickness? Would you associate that odor with that? We think you would. Even as you are learning to navigate your own physical body, Esther walked down a long flight of stairs, looked out of a big glass door, and saw two packages. They were exactly the same thing. They were two paper towel holders. So they were identical in the box they were in and in the way that they were situated in the box. In other words, there was a heavy end of each box and a light end of each box. So she picked one up in one hand and she picked the other up in the other hand. And now she's going to walk up this flight of stairs, not holding onto the railing or anything, just walk up the flight of stairs. And she stopped for a moment and she thought, let me get myself into balance a little bit here. So she flipped the boxes around so that they were equal in their balance in her hands. And then she walked in balance up the stairs. And then she thought about watching her grandchildren, or she even remembered herself when she was dropping things or not paying attention to what she was doing, not getting out ahead of it. And then she thought, it is through trial and error that we learn our balance like this. It is through trial and error that we learn not to eat spoiled food. It is through trial and error that we learn not to slice a piece of our thumb off with the potato peeler or a piece of our finger off as we're chopping up tomatoes. In other words, aren't you acclimating to your world? Aren't you calibrating to your world? Aren't you becoming better in your world? Don't you understand that that's just the way that it is? Aren't you better today at so many things than you were when you were little or than you even were a week ago? Isn't every day an opportunity for an improved process or an improved way of going about something or a more satisfying way of going about something? So doesn't it follow that vibrational calibration is a similar kind of thing. And doesn't it follow that as you offer a vibration, that you get accustomed to the way the vibration feels? And isn't it logical that then you would see the results that come from that? And so let's not get all complicated about all of these things. Let's not turn it into a scientific endeavor that a lot aren't good at. Let's not become whiz kids at mathematics when it's not required that you become experts in that way. You have a guidance system within you that is elementary in nature. It is as simple as good things feel good, and I feel an inclination to move toward them, and bad things feel bad, and I feel an aversion to them. Let it be just that simple. And stop trying to figure out what everybody else is doing. Why does that man not come to me? Or why does no man come to me? Figure out how you feel before you try to figure out what anybody else's relationship with you is. And it is our promise to you that as you notice, because there is no evidence to the contrary of how you feel, where you land, where you have landed, where you be in any moment in time, the universe delivers matching things to that. And then your conscious awareness, your logic has to say to you, oh, this feeling is bringing this and 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 this. What am I going to do about that? And when you come to the only important response, I'm going to improve the way I feel through my focus. I'm going to look for more things that feel like this. I'm going to avert my attention from the things that don't feel good. And I'm going to give my attention to the things that do feel good. I'm going to retweet the good feeling tweet, never the bad feeling one. I'm going to broadcast the things that feel best to me and never the things that feel worse to me. One of you wrote in commenting that you wanted to be like Esther's Jerry, who said every time he was entering a segment that included another person, it's my intent to be an uplifter to this person or to these people. I will either leave them where they are or they will rise to something better, but no one will ever be diminished as a result of interacting with me. That's really a good intention, isn't it? It's the intention that your inner being holds for you. Your inner being never lowers vibration in order to calibrate to something that doesn't feel good. Your inner being always holds the highest vibration, knowing that you have the ability to acclimate to it, but that it takes practice.